As I remember buttons. Alright, watch me remember buttons and get my ass kicked, people.
This can only end well.
Yeah, because it's like, I was hoping there was going to be a team of Shingo, Alice, and there was some other person that's someone else's student. I think she's Kim's student or something or other. Because there's already a team rookies. That's the sad part. So that would actually would like that just ruins the name for it altogether. So that would just mess it up for everybody. I don't know what they would call it. Team trainees or something. Or the fan club team or some crap.
Hard to say, yeah.
Let's see, Nintendo had a direct today.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did. They teased Pikmin 4 actual gameplay. Let's see, on the Nintendo Store as well, they also giving us Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games.
Really? Anything interesting on the roster?
F-Zero's on there, I know that much.
Oh shit.
Yep. Bunch of the Mario World, Kirby. Yeah, Mario World, Kirby. A lot of the old Game Boy games, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. Like a lot of them. You know how Nintendo do when they finally get a chance to realize how to do a thing. They're gonna do the thing. Well, we got Metroid.
Really?
Yes, Metroid Prime remastered.
Interesting.
And it looks
not where I thought they'd go with that.
It's a very good looking game because it looks very good because they remastered it. Like well, coming from the GameCube to current gen of software and hardware, it looks very nice.
To be fair, like Metroid Prime actually looks fucking magnificent for the GameCube, and it still does. Like, you go back and play Metroid Prime now, it's fucking, it holds up 100%.
Yeah, because like a lot of people were surprised they didn't give us. They only gave us just Metroid Prime and not Metroid Primes 1 through 3. Because they gave us that. It's basically just like, oh, they gave us Metroid Primes 1, 2, and 3 remastered, and then now we just have hope for Metroid Prime 4.
Right, and they've been talking about Metroid Prime 4 for a hot second.
No, but they've been talking about Pikmin 4 for like ages.
Yeah.
And now we finally get gameplay and stuff for it, as well as Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, basically Breath of the Wild 2.
Well, I mean, Breath of the Wild fucking was such a massive hit, you know, it's like, it doesn't surprise me they'd almost do fucking direct sequel to it.
Right, because even I know it's a Legend of Zelda game, it's going to sell. Because the games that are on for Nintendo that I know they're always going to sell, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Pokemon, and Mario related anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are the specific games I know they're going to sell a lot because those are specific Nintendo brands everybody will love and recognize. I'm just kind of wish they would throw out at us, oh, I don't know, a new F-Zero game, a new Star Fox game,
well,
something.
You said there was an F-Zero on the roster.
Yeah, from the Advance.
No, well, I mean, F-Zero's F-Zero as much as, like, yeah, it's advanced, and it's like, yeah, that's not what we wanted, but, you know, any life is better than no life.
True, very true. Even if it is just a port, I'm looking at you, Capcom, in your Darkstalkers port, you some bitch.
Just why?
That's right, I'm calling you out, Capcom. A re-release of how many freaking Darkstalker games?
Alright, stand by. Something came up, I'll have to be right back.
As DOS pops off for like a hot second to do all of nothing. He's checking his pumpkin for splits.
Player 1 takes another round. Reach for the top. Ready? Go!
Get off that bird.
Fixed it.
Oh, what'd you fix?
Fucking had to get me a something basic cut some of the stuff I was drinking.
Ah. As a level 3 Nakaroo and about to eat her damn bird.
They absolutely thrashed their opponent in that match. Winner! Select order.
A fucking weird impose.
I mean, Shingo is technically the Dan Hibiki of the game, but Dan with... Yeah, each game has a Dan Hibiki-like character, meaning they're just kind of goofy and not really taken seriously. But the difference with Shingo, he is one of the few characters that are supposed to be the joke character, but actually can be very good in their actual game. Versus in Dan, he's only good in crossover games.
Which is weird, but, you know, I guess, you know, it's its own fucking thing, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah. It's not like Capcom's gonna try and give us another crossover game. Ain't that right, Capcom? Yeah!
Well, I mean, they keep teasing, well, I guess teasing is the wrong word. It's like, they're still talking about, you know, Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and that actually making a thing.
They're probably not gonna do it because I don't know if Harada would be okay with that. Because Street Fighter Cross Tekken, because of the fumble fingers in the entirety of that series.
Well, I don't know, man. It's like, you know, they had the deal set up, so it's like, you know, it was supposed to be a 1-2 deal. It's like they're technically independent games, but it's like this was a collaboration thing that just never came to full fruition.
Yeah, because they more or less, well, on this DLC, they straight up, not even, I want to say leaked the entire roster, but games have already leaked the entire roster long before. All the game mechanics, the pay-to-win stuff with the gym system, which basically took over everything.
Well, that they had some like questionable mechanics too. It's like, you know, the sacrifice your partner mechanic, and it's like either you got it or fucking, or either you did it, you've got like 7 seconds to win, or you don't even use the mechanic, which is what most people did.
Yeah, it's basically if you're really confident in yourself and think you're going to win.
Like I saw what they were trying to do. It's supposed to be, you know, kind of like their version of fucking X Factor, but it didn't pan.
It really didn't, because the problem is, like, if you kind of screwed up at a certain point, it basically just blocked forever until their freaking little Pandora meter thing ran out, and then you win. Like, it had, it was like, there was a lot of hopes with it. A lot. But Street Fighter Cross Tekken did not do much of a good thing. It was good for some sales, but Capcom still kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
Well, like, there was just so much potential in it, and then they just kind of, they just ended up squandering it right at the end.
Hell, and I think that's probably what, I hope that's not what ruined the relationship with Bandai Namco for, well, basically getting Tekken Cross Street Fighter when we get it, if we get it.
Yeah, I know, the big operative word there is if. I agree.
The when and if we get the thing that we want so much of it.
Select order.
But Because with Harada and him doing Tekken and stuff, because they've already announced like Tekken getting rollback netcode for 7 and 8 and a whole bunch of other stuff. They already showed the gameplay mechanics of 8, as well as showing off characters in the roster as we slowly start creeping up the release date of it. Because if anything, they're probably going to push back the release date just for like, oh yeah, here's some more characters and more stuff we're trying to fix. Like, I'm fine with that. If they have to push back, if they have to push back a game to make sure it works better, I'm fine with that. Versus releasing a game that is half, basically incomplete, is so many bugs around it, kind of like what they did with Cyberpunk.
No, 100%. I'm right there with you. I mean, it's like, you know, there's been times where it's like, you know, they delayed games for like extra polish, and it's like actually came out well.
Yep.
I can't think of many off the top of my head. I know what's happened though, kind of deal. Compared to the tried and true excuses like, well, where they're like forced to fucking kick it out before it's ready, you know, ergo like Cyberpunk or something like that.
Right. Because, like, I don't mind, because, like, yeah, because we don't even remember half the time of games that got delayed because of, oh, it was delayed, whatever, and we'll get it when it's done, versus, like, oh, yeah, we're just going to release it now, and then, why did it flop so hard? What are all these bugs? You try to push it out just to meet sales.
I mean, I understand the context, the mindset for it, but yeah, it's like, you know, if it's not ready, it's not ready kind of deal. I mean, there's several games that were just like undercooked and hit the market, and it's like, well, yeah, that's why they failed.
Yeah, because I know with Arc System, they'll give us a teaser trailer and then not give us a release date. And then we'll get this release date as soon as they're like, okay, are we ready to launch it now, or do we have something else going on? Because most of the times, like most companies, if we already have something going on, we're going to let that one run its course and then do the next thing.
100%.
Yeah, because like with Harada and Tekken, it's his flagship, and usually bringing up the rear somewhere in there is Soul Calibur, when and if we get it. Because honestly, I honestly thought Soul Calibur 7 could, well, 6. It's 6, but not on Soul Calibur 7 yet. My wishful thinking, excuse me. Wishful thinking, excuse me. It still does the thing like it did in 6. Because that's like, well, you saw how the character story was basically going from 1 to whichever. I hope they kind of keep it with that sort of trend. Because, like, a lot of them gave us more context of what happened in between the characters from going from 1 to, like, 4 and all that stuff. Who was actually a part of the roster. Because with Soul Calibur 6, I was hoping the roster was going to include everyone from Soul Calibur, from all previous Soul Calibur games, with exception of the next generation kids from Soul Calibur 5. Because by that point, they're just character copies of Helix, Ophitia, Cassandra, Patroclus, and all that. Yeah, like, besides that, if anything, and give them, like, some... If they're going to add them, give them better context in their own unique style. Because, like, as much as I love going through, like, specific games and doing stuff, because so many character clones can get tiring to see. Because how often are we going to get the Shotos of Kid and Ryu in Street Fighter, and then we have Akuma, Goken, Dan, Sakura, and Sean as well.
Right, and I know, like, their personalities, like, you know, help differentiate them a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, you know, they are still Shotos.
Yeah, because, like, essentially, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, as much as that they're more or less the Shotos of Mortal Kombat, and basically the NK ninjas accordingly with it.
Right, and it's like, again, same thing. It's like, you know, you get Rain, Reptile. It's like, you know, these are very different characters, but, you know, it's like, at same core, it's like, you know, they are still basically Shotos of the game.
Yeah. Because, like, even most fighting games have evolved into, like, okay, this is the Kid and Ryu of this game, or the Kai and Soul of this game. Basically, there's the red guy and the blue guy. Or these two are always been rivals since day one of this game that they know or whatever. Like, okay, cool, we get that. But the character clone thing is usually, it gets tiring to just watch. Hell, Skullgirls made the joke of like the character clone and gave us literally a character clone, Fukuoka, which was just them throwing shade at Capcom slightly, and as well as Robo Fortune was basically a Robo-Kai joke at Guilty Gear.
Right.
Because I know Robo Fortune has Robo-Kai's colors and other stuff with it.
Well, of course, I mean, it's like, you know, and Skullgirls is supposed to be kind of a celebration of fighting games as well, so it doesn't surprise me that, like, they got in-jokes on Shadows and the whole nine.
In-jokes of everything.
Right.
Hell, there's even JoJo's references in there, which make me laugh the hardest. Because, let me think, Peacock, she has an item drop, well, an item super, which just kind of falls on top of your head, depending on the light, medium, heavy, because I know one of them you can actually hold on to and then let go when you see, like, the exclamation point on the ground, and it'll do a different effect. Because specific, if, like, before the big shadow goes all the way down to the bottom, there's a one that can do a ground bounce, a forced wall bounce, and there's one that actually drops the steamroller, which one of her little friends does the full Dio Brando punch steamroller, the vampire, and then explode it. It does one of the greatest damages in there, plus it sets up for basically her just to go into her super.
Who is going to claim victory?
Well, yeah, and it's like, you know, well, is it? So many of the characters are sitting there, it's like, you know, callbacks to other shit. It's like, I forget what is it, Beowulf, I think it was. It's like, he's almost like a direct one-to-one comparison against, what was it, that one cat from Persona, I think it's Ryuji.
Oh yeah, because he has his colors. And like when he does this super that has a Grendel, that big giant arm, it's actually in the colors of the Persona. Big Band has Jotaro's colors. Eliza has Dio Brando's colors. And that was my phone. As well as having Jetta's colors from Darkstalkers, which is kind of hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And like right now they're doing a whole thing where they're basically doing like, oh yeah, here's a season pass of characters that we're going to do. I'm like, oh, they're actually doing a season pass of characters versus just like, yeah, we're just gonna start individually releasing people because we're still showing love for our game.
But, no, and it's like, you know, that's kind of the point of Skullgirls. It was made by fighting game fans for fighting game fans, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Very much so. Like, I'm just, like, because I'm kind of waiting, because, like, I want to know where this Skullgirls story goes, because more or less it's just been kind of dropped off at a cliffhanger, like, all over the place. Because even in the...
I mean, even, like, something like, Skullgirls, like the idea of a Skullgirls 2 was like a totally see.
This is Skullgirls 2.
Well, yeah, you said it was definitely a cliffhanger, so that's kind of what I'm getting to.
Yes.
Kind of like the same thing with DBZ 2. It's like, you know, they've been out for a hot second. They've been updated by the producers and creators and stuff like that to the point that it's like, you know, the next logical iteration is the sequel. And I know we talked about that because, like, again, I thought Fighters was done, and then they rolled out. I was like, oh, surprise, here's Last Cut 21.
I thought that was going to be a whole final season of DLC. I was really hoped and hyped for it. It's like, nope, here's your last character. The most OP character you're going to get because she was not in story mode. Like, okay, sure. I'm not saying no, but come on. Throw me a bone here. Give us one last
time. But she wasn't, kind of deal.
Like she was, but she wasn't. Because that would actually would give us, like, if they give us, like, the straight up truly evil variant of her. Versus, like, okay, here's her lab coat, here's her margins up, and here's her true evil self. Like, okay, cool. If they did that, as well as give us some DLC characters, and now DOS was holding high hopes for Majin Vegeta all the way through.
I mean, you can't blame the guy.
I mean, I wanted Omega Shinron and Raditz, so yeah.
I mean, you wanted Raditz. I'm not the biggest fan of that idea, but, you know, if we're gonna have a Raditz style or joke character, I would sit there all day as, like, I would have gone fucking...
the champ!
Yeah, the champ, Mr. Satan.
Yeah, no, because Raditz isn't exactly a joke character, but they treat him like a joke. It's less of a joke, more like, oh, that's Raditz. Then they just ignore him. Cybermen have more priority over Raditz, which is just kind of heartbreaking.
A little bit, yeah.
Because like
weird, because like, you know, and especially with like the Super Saiyan fucking transformations, like, you know, he's the only one that gets fucking like the extended fucking hair fucking hawk kind of thing
from the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, if Raditz never came to Earth, Z would have never gotten started.
No, 100%.
Like, I at least want that much. Give Raditz his due. Like, oh, here's Raditz. We can now have, like, here's one of the Saiyan pod battles, the Saiyan saga. Basically, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz. I would at least be okay with that, because they're like, okay, that's something. That's at least something for us to have fun with there.
Well, I know in the games where they actually do have Raditz, I know one of them they actually had a thing where it's like, you know, he turned into a Great Ape form, and you actually could like see like he had more hair than any of the other Great Apes.
Yeah. I forget which Dragon Ball Z it was. I think it was Raging Blast or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of the Dragon Ball games other than Fighter Z, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Like, that was more Dio's area expertise. Like, I saw him playing them a lot more than I did.
Yeah, because like out of like most of the characters in like the previous Dragon Ball Z games, I've played Raditz. I played Raditz like in Piccolo. I know that much. Like more than like any of the other like Saiyan characters or most other characters. Unless it's like, oh, I need to play as this character to unlock the other person for this thing.
Select order.
And as we draw to the end of this nonsense, start setting up. Or are you good?
Might have to go take care of that thing I told you about.
Ah, right. Gotta hold back on that raid then.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, like, yeah, this was gonna be a quick stream today, just to get this out the way, versus me waiting for...
like, you know, we wanted to do something tonight. It was like, because we never gotten updated, and it's like, you know, we want to do something for the day, obviously.
Right. Because in all honesty, like, this stream is basically... Because I could have just waited until, like, oh, they released all the other characters for KOF, but that would have taken, like... I know I'm going to keep coming back to this...
Yeah, it's a comfort zone kind of thing.
Well, it's more it's like, you know, something quick to actually just throw out on the table.
Right.
Versus letting it pile up. Because I know they have DLC planned all the way until, like, next year for, like, individual characters. Because Shingo was supposed to be winter, Kim is spring, Sylvie is summer, Minaj is fall, and you got another person coming in for winter, then spring. Like, so they got, like, for this year and next year of characters planned. Oh crap.
Still dealing with her long ass fucking reach.
Seriously, man. And that's the end of Otomoraga again.
These two know how to win. Winner!
Yeah, good job, Shingo. Gold Star Kid.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit there and probably knock out something else on our own time kind of deal. A little bit of grind or something on the backside.
There he is. There's the can-do kid. That guy in the background, that's Kyo's dad and Shingo's teacher.
Yeah, nice.
Good for you, Shingo.